One of the games of the year comes to us from England. It's the coach. This is week 8 of the NFL on EA Sports. Coming up is the third of 3 games this year in London, and it's the best of the bunch, as we'll see the Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles taking on the Jacksonville Jaguars. I'll be back at halftime. But first, let's get you across the Atlantic to London, where I'm privileged to hand things over to Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Coach, thank you. We are over 4,000 miles away from where you're seated in Orlando as we come to you from the European home of the NFL, London, England, and Wembley Stadium. Coming up, another edition of the NFL International Series, and it should be a good one, between the Philadelphia Eagles and the Jacksonville Jaguars. Alongside my partner, Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Godden. Charles, you look at this Jaguar team. They come in losers of 2 straight, so they're trying to right the ship here a little bit.
They're teetering a little bit, aren't they? And now things could really go south if they lose this game, so they understand the importance of playing well and stopping this streak.
Meanwhile, for our visitors, the Eagles, they come in on a good run, winners of 5 of their last 7. Both of these teams about to reach the halfway point of this NFL season, and we're underway on EA Sports. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. So here's the first drive now for the Jags. Leading them out, the MVP of Super Bowl 52, Nick Foles.
Coming off of a loss their last time out, I think he's just seeking to make a bigger impact on the game. He threw a touchdown pass, didn't throw an interception. I think he just wants to jump those numbers up in terms of flinging it around and letting his receivers get into the end zone.
Be alert!
They go play action here on first down. That is incomplete. Trying to get it there to D.D. Westbrook. And it's second down.
I know coaches tell us all the time that having a powerful arm isn't the #1 thing they look for in a quarterback. But when you're trying to throw inside routes and you need to put some heat on it, it helps have the big gun. In this case, just a little bit too much.
Line of scrimmage, again the 25, 2nd and 10. Here's Leonard Fournette, 1,000-yard rusher from a year ago. And he'll lose yardage on this one, back to the 13. They'll wind up losing about a dozen on the play. And they're going to face an uphill battle here on 3rd and long. Here's Foles. Over the middle, it's Thomas. And they'll bring him down here up at about the 22-yard line. They do get 9, but it leads to 4th down.
That's certainly playing down in distance very well by the defense, isn't it? Take whatever you want underneath, by all means.
It'll be a 51-yard punt that time. And the Eagles will have it, taking over 1st and 10. Wentz and the Eagles now with a 1st and 10 at their own 24.
4 down, check. Great 15, great 15. 46 down, man, 5-4.
They fake the give. Now Wentz. Flush to his right. And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. Calais Campbell in there to get him for sack number 9 now on the year.
Well, we knew coming in it was going to be a long afternoon if they weren't able to hold up against this pass rush, huh?
What we didn't know was that protection was going to spring a leak on the first play from scrimmage.
Got after him right out of the gate.
They run with Howard. And he'll take this one up to about the 23. They get 6 yards back on the run, but still have a 3rd and long situation forthcoming.
And that was a good run. This was only one of 9 guys to go over 1,000 yards in 2017. And I think you can't let him run wild here.
What do you think, 100 yards, the measuring stick?
Always. That is the threshold. You want to keep him under that if you want to play good defense.
Now a shot taken on third down, but it's going to wind up incomplete. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete.
Well, that certainly looked like something that they discussed all week in practice getting ready for this one. Take the big shot right out of the gate. At worst, you'll open up the defense a little bit, loosen them up, and have them back on their heels.
The Jaguars getting set to go. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means they're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully turn the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. Fights forward for only about a yard up to the 21.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Foles dumps it off to Fournette. And this one will go to the 28-yard line. It's a gain of 6 on the play, and that'll lead here to a third down.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
Now Foles, and he finds Julius Thomas. And he's going to have the first down, yardage to the 35. Call it a gain of 7, and it gets him a new set of downs.
And that one was a lot of fun right there because that was the game within the game. Third and short, blitz was on. What's the key for the quarterback? Get out of your hands in a hurry. And that was a quick little completion. Got the job done for a first down.
He goes full extension, and he's got it. Give him 9 there on the first down completion.
Well, partner, when you ask anyone other than your QB to throw the ball, you must have a lot of confidence or you think you're really going to fake them out, and it looks like they did exactly that.
Yeah, going deep in the playbook, and a blitz coming, and down he goes. Zach Brown in from his linebacker spot. He's able to drop him for a loss of about 10.
Now, we talk about players blitzing all the time. I often laugh and sometimes call it just straight-ahead pursuit. What a running start right back to the backfield for him.
Yeah, really didn't give anybody a chance to get up there and stop him.
No, I mean, that's really, really difficult. You're asking a whole lot anyway, but when he gets that kind of a start and comes through clean, oftentimes the advantage definitely goes to the defensive player.
2 first downs have him up near midfield now on 1st and 10. They'll look to throw now on 1st down. And this throw will be intercepted. Picked off by Avonte Maddox. And his guys are going to take over at the 21-yard line.
Oh, man, Brandon, not a real good throw that time. It looked like he tried to put a little too much air under this one, and it turned into a floater. And defensively, this is a dream. He could have fair caught that one. That was way too easy.
Now the pressure comes, and he goes down. Just inside the 10, back at the 9.
Well, so much for setting the tone of the drive offensively. Giving up a big sack that loses that kind of yardage, not a great start.
So now 20 yards to go on 2nd down after the sack. Work to be done.
74.
From the gun, it's Wentz. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. A.J. Boyer with a pick, and they will take over with a football just outside of the 10 at the 12-yard line. He's continuing to be a big presence defensively. Remember last week, AFC Defensive Player of the Week, and a big pick right there.
And when you pile up big numbers, it gets everyone's attention. But sometimes the number just needs to be, how many game-changing plays did you make? Did you take the ball away from the other team? He just did that, trying to win the award again this week.
And he'll be dropped at about the 11 after only a yard.
I know the scouting report on him is that he doesn't possess the eye discipline to be an elite linebacker. And what that means is his ability to read, react, and make a play. But on that one, he looked like one of those guys.
That's caught. It's Thomas. 3 catches now this afternoon, the same number he had all of last week. Also, it's a first down.
When an offense reads blitz, doesn't matter where it's coming from, Tight ends know that they become a big part of the passing game because they should be an easy outlet when all those extra bodies are trying to get to the quarterback. A hot route, so to speak.
And he takes it in. Touchdown, Jacksonville. Julius Thomas, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the Jags have taken the early lead.
A good tight end is a heck of a weapon for any quarterback, especially when you're able to create some mismatches. Sometimes they work against a linebacker, sometimes they work against a smaller defensive back. But when they find it, they go to it, and it often results in touchdowns.
Fielded about a yard deep. And he'll get this just up past the 20, but a marker is down. Let's get the call.
Illegal block in the back. Return team.
Yeah, this is going to put them back with a not great field position.
So they really got zero benefit at all, right? Sometimes you can absorb a penalty when you get a big return. Then the penalty brings it back, but you still have great field position. As you pointed out, not in this case.
And a nice run to get this up over the 20-yard line. The numbers for Howard a week ago, 23 carries, 80 yards, and a touchdown.
They've got a nice scheme going right now, and they run the football pretty well. In fact, I was talking with him on the field before the game, and he said he's starting to hear from the guys ahead of him on the rushing yardage total, and they want to know if he's going to jump up there and join them at the top of the year.
Back live with Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. It's the Eagles with the ball here to begin quarter number 2. They're looking at a 2nd and short yardage to start things out. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll be brought down right at the 30 here. It's an 8-yard pickup and leads to a new set of downs.
Tremendous blocking by the interior of the offensive line. They didn't just gash him there. They blasted a gaping hole for him to gallop through. I think if he comes back to the huddle, he better be giving them a whole lot of credit and thanking them for that much space to rumble.
On first down, Wentz. And complete to Zach Ertz. 15 yards through the air and a first down.
A lot of tight ends just use their size and their strength, try to occupy some space and kind of body people away and catch the football. But not this guy. He's a refined route runner. Makes me wonder if he took some dance classes in his background with his footwork.
Wentz now on first down. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out. Incomplete. Seems like this defense, especially the secondary, has really been contesting about every throw in this first half.
Remind me of a good half-court defensive basketball team. Every time a pass is thrown, they're right there in good defensive position, able to affect the play.
Yeah, he'll only get a yard, maybe 2, up to the 46.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half, maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
Now Wentz on third down. And this one is incomplete. Well, they've had a pretty frustrating first half here offensively, and then just continued there with that incompletion.
And definitely frustrating for them, but heartening for the other guys. Those stop troops, they're enjoying things right now because they've made it very difficult for them throughout the half.
And a little too much mustard on that one. It hits a couple yards into the end zone. A missed opportunity there maybe to pin them back. And out now comes Jacksonville as they get ready to go. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline, because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you score points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's second down.
An interesting and intriguing decision there defensively because they kept extra DBs on the field despite seeing the multiple tight end look that came out for the offense.
I thought they were going to switch out of it. I didn't know if they felt they didn't have time or what the case was.
Well, in any event, the extra speed allowed for great penetration as they stuffed that one behind the line of scrimmage.
Let's go.
Well, he hasn't made much of an impact in the running game thus far, and after that last run, not much is going to change in that area.
He hasn't been able to get anything going, and really the offensive line not helping him much. In trouble here, and down he goes. Back at the 8-yard line. Nigel Bradham in there to drop him for his 5th sack of the year.
Now, that was just absolute perfect man coverage. Nowhere for them to go with the football. Led to a sack. And that's really difficult to do in today's NFL with all these gazelles running around that you're trying to cover in the secondary.
We'll call that a punt of 54 yards. Well struck. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. Jordan Howard and the rest of the offense heading back out there. Those are his numbers through roughly the first half of the season, and given that, you'd have to think he's on pace for a 1,000-yard campaign.
Steady as he goes. Steady goes the offense. But you know what else is happening, too, because they are a team now recognized with the ability to run the football. You've got to be able to throw it better now, right? Better throwing lanes, better opportunities for the guys downfield, maybe more one-on-one coverage, which you should be able to beat easier. Yeah, he's establishing not just a tone, but an identity for his team.
And that's a discussion we had a couple days ago in the team meetings, talking about this running game, opening up the passing game. We'll see if that continues to happen. And his pass incomplete.
Didn't have a receiver open downfield, and as it turned out, couldn't even find his outlet man because of the coverage. It was way too tight, unable to find anyone open.
So back-to-back incompletions, and that has him staring at a 3rd and 10.
Black. Hey, stat. 81.
Shotgun now for Wentz. This is caught by Jackson. And he'll be stopped right at midfield. First catch for the NFL's leader in receiving yards at the midway point. It's a 1st down.
Nice catch right there. Brings to mind the sentence, when in doubt, find your veterans.
I used to laugh back in the day when they would call guys like him crafty veterans. You get up in your 30s, you're still playing receiver, but you're around that long at that position, you're doing something right.
Just remember this, when he was young, he thought the crafty veteran was simply a guy who couldn't run anymore. Now he understands a little bit better.
That one 28 yards on the ground.
Well, partner, I have to say they called him in the right defense there. Nickel set. 5th defensive back on the field, and they love to run against that because now you typically get a bigger blocker on a smaller defender.
Yeah, because those DBs like you, they want the interception. They're not as worried about the running play, right?
Not at all. And I still remember being in school, and one of my offensive line teammates used to say, boy, I love to come downfield and hit you little people.
Good run there. So the youngster able to use the legs to pick up the 1st.
And one of my pet peeves when they see this guy play, when Carson Wentz takes off running the football, I always hear people go, oh, he's sneaky athletic. No, he's athletic. Watch him do it. It's an integral part of the quarterback run game, and he gets it done very, very well.
Yeah, you don't like sneaky athletic, do you? That's just kind of a jab in the back.
Yeah, not when it doesn't apply. I think that's a stereotype that needs to be broken down for him. That's a strong pickup right there on 1st down. And as this drive goes on, we're seeing an offensive line and running game imposing its will.
Got a man open. It's Ertz. Touchdown, Philadelphia. Zach Ertz, his 6th touchdown of the season. And the Eagles are within an extra point of tying this thing up.
The defense is going to have to start doing something different because this guy's absolutely carving them up, especially down here in the red zone. He's been one of the top receiving tight ends here in the first half of the season.
So we're right back where we started, all even as the kick's away. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Out comes the Jacksonville offense as they get set to take over here. And hoping to do better than they did their last possession when they punted the football.
Appeal to the vanity of your offensive line. Tell them that they control your fate. Leverage guys. Win the line of scrimmage. If you do that, you start to win 1st down. You win 2nd down. And guess what? You start accumulating 1st downs. And that's when...
Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Nigel Bradham in there to get him. And that's sack number 6 for him on the year. Sacks, a growing theme in this first half. This is 2nd and long. 2 minutes to play in a tightly contested first half. Coming up at halftime, I'll go from one personality, that's you, Charles Davis, to another one in Orlando, the coach. He'll have stats and scores from around the NFL. You and Jonathan Coachman, both larger than life.
No doubt about it.
But you're stuck with me in this. Well, this is taken in. It's complete. And he'll be out of bounds, but able to get it up past the 45. A gain of 32 that time.
It's bad enough watching all the highlight reels, watching guys in warm-ups, going up and making these incredible one-handed acrobatic catches. But when it happens right in front of you, when you're defending him, that just makes your day that much longer, and you just wonder, how are we ever going to cover these guys?
Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete.
That's very well timed there defensively, because it's not a bad throw, but the collision came at the exact time he was reaching to bring in the football. Really, really well done.
Decent offense, just better defense. I think you're right. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. Give him 4 on the ground there. They're now left with 3rd and 6. From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. A throw left side, complete to his receiver, Westbrook. The Eagles going to take the first of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. And the Jaguars send out their punter as he's on here to punt it away. Philadelphia getting set to take the field. The last possession, these guys were able to tie the game with a touchdown, and now they'll have a chance to move out in front.
Yeah, let's give a big assist to the defense who got the ball back. The special teams went out there, handled things. They've got it. They've got momentum. I know they're eager to get out there and put it on display.
And his throw here is incomplete. He was trying to get it to Zach Ertz that time. That'll bring up 2nd down. Defensively, Charles, they continue to really limit this offense as far as yardage goes.
Yeah, you're exactly right. They've been assignment sound, staying in their lanes, keeping proper leverage, and communicating well, too.
Back to the air on 2nd down. Wentz. Right side caught by Jackson. 30. And all the way down to the 24-yard line. A big play there for Philly. 52 yards.
Okay, what can't Deshaun Jackson do? All right, we know about the catches. We just saw another one there. Also gets involved in the return game, and he can break big plays like that. We've seen him do it throughout his NFL career.
We have. What are you thinking of anything in particular?
I'm still remembering a certain Giants punter not following orders, and Deshaun Jackson made that big-time return all the way back for a game winner in that one. I still remember seeing the looks of disbelief on the Giants sideline.
This is Howard on 2nd down. And he'll be taken down near the 20 at the 21. The former All-Pro Marcel Darius brings him down.
Well, that call makes sense because they've been throwing it well on this drive, and once again they show passing formation, showing the shotgun. Then they ran out of it. That's a nice play by them defensively, though, to hold it to a short game.
On 3rd down, this is Howard. And he takes it down to the 13 and picks up the first. And now we won't see a play on 1st down. We're going to get a timeout instead, as they'll stop it with 17 seconds to go in this first half of action. A good run by Jordan Howard, and now another 1st and 10.
82.
From the red zone now, Wentz. He leads this one for Howard. And this play goes nowhere, losing yardage back to the 15. Now before the 2nd down play, we'll get whistles and a timeout as they stop it with 11 seconds remaining in this first half. 2nd and 12 after the 1st down pass play went backwards for 2 yards. Now Wentz. And that is incomplete. 7 seconds remaining. The linebacker, Telvin Smith, able to get a hand on it there. So on 3rd down, the field goal unit will come out as they'll try to get 3 before half. And the kick by Elliott is good. And they take the lead here now at 10-7. Now the drive ends in just 3, but they'll take it. Looks like they'll head to the locker room barring something unfortunate in front on the scoreboard.
Yeah, they may not be jumping up and down and celebrating because they have the lead, but still, any little momentum in a game like this is important to a team, and they'll feel real good about going in and regrouping, knowing that they are out in front.
Final play of the first half, barring a penalty, as they come up on 1st and 10.
4 down. 180.
And with time running short here, they'll simply take a knee, and that should do it for half number 1. Well, why don't we hold off on the halftime update after all? Seems like everyone's ready to go here for the second half in Week 8 in the NFL. As they say here in London, all to play for as we are back underway in the second half. And nice work on the return as they'll start their drive just past the 30-yard line. Out come the Eagles now as they'll go on offense first here in the third quarter. They have the lead. Now they'll be looking to extend that lead.
And this is where I enjoy talking about one of my favorite subjects, tendency breakers, or counters as I also like to call them. You've done things in a certain way in the first half, and they've had ability to see what you've done. They're going to make their adjustments. So guess what? You adjust yourself and try and stay ahead of the pace because you are looking for some separation in this ball game.
The adjustment to the adjustment.
Without a doubt. Show them one thing, hit them with something else.
On first, they go right back to Howard. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on first down. Remember at the outset, you talked about the key being keeping him under 100 yards. Well, he's over 100 now. We're in the third quarter.
So that has happened, right? So that goal's gone. Can they bottle him up the rest of the way? They'll need to do so if they want to try and win this one.
And he'll take this one down to about the 40. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll leave them with a 3rd and 3.
Well, praise has to go to the guys on the offensive line because they've had a very nice, productive day running the football. How about that poor defensive line? They've been knocked around the entire game, and while they slowed them down on that run, can they continue to do so? Because they haven't had much success throughout this ball game.
And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's able to work it here to the 8-yard line. That one good for 10 yards. And that'll make it 2nd and a foot or so.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point. Going to make that defense stand up and stop them.
False start, offense.
And that'll be accepted, of course, and that moves him back 5.
Get over there. Go.
Another run with Sanders. And he's going to be brought down just shy of the 5 at the 6. 7 yards on the pickup there, and now they've got it 1st and goal.
I hope we give enough respect to the big guys up front because they have been getting it done on this drive. The holes have been large, and they've been barreling through them, picking up first downs.
Now they'll throw it. Wentz flushed out right. And he'll score. Touchdown, Eagles. Carson Wentz, his 2nd touchdown of the game, 17th on the year. And the Eagles add 6 to their lead. A good, sustained drive there in this third quarter, capping it off with a touchdown to give them a nice 2-score advantage.
It was actually a fun one to watch, wasn't it? I mean, for me, seeing the mix of what they did, how they moved the ball downfield, very sharp, too. Each and every play seemed to be executed with great dispatch.
This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Here's Nick Foles as he heads back out to work. Here comes the Jags offense now. Time for their first possession of half number 2. They trail offense, first time to touch the ball in quarter 3, and we'll see what they can do.
And I can't wait to see what they have planned, because some teams script to start a half. Other teams just go, okay, these are the sequence of plays we want to run. These things worked well for us. And sometimes they throw in that big chunk play right away.
Shocker.
Try and get after them early and try and create a big play to give themselves some momentum.
See what they have up their sleeve. Again, it's Fournette. And the window closes quickly. He'll only get up to the 22-yard line. Only a yard on the gain there, and that'll set up 3rd and 13.
Well, they still have time to get him established, but in my estimation, they've got to pick up the urgency here. They've got to get quickly in and out of the huddle and run off a bunch more plays.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And a big loss here as he's taken down. Zach Brown in there to drop him for his 5th sack of the year.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
51 yards on the punt there. And out will come the offense as they take over. And out now come the Eagles. And it's a unit last drive that did it all on the ground, Charles.
And they controlled it from the interior, big on big, right? Offensive lineman versus defensive lineman. But, you know, in order to keep the football moving downfield, other people have to get involved as well. Your wide receivers, your tight ends, lead runners, anything that you have possible to get in front and keep the ball moving.
And now the defense may be looking out for a pass coming up. He'll get 8 on the scramble there. It'll be 2nd and a couple.
Now, that was not a bad scramble there on 1st down. He didn't force it, nor did he throw it away. He was able to take off, and now he made it a very manageable 2nd and short.
4 down, check, 4 down. Get over there, go. What's this?
They'll run with a former Badger. It's Corey Clement. And he'll get this into enemy territory, but not by much, as he's down to the 48. Only a yard on the pickup, so from a good situation on 2nd and 2, it's now 3rd and 1. They'll run it now out of the gun. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. A gain of 11 and a 1st down.
Partner, if you want more carries, I think we saw how you get them. Showed that he's got the fresh legs, and he picked up the 1st down on that run. Don't just ask for him. Show him that you're supposed to get the football.
Here's Wentz to throw. Trying for the tight end, Ertz, and it's intercepted. Picked off by the linebacker, Miles Jack. He's at the 30. And it's a tremendous return as they finally get him at about the 10-yard line.
Well, that's a drive killer right there. Not a really confident throw either. This one was kind of up for grabs, and it's going to come down the hands of the wrong team.
Suddenly, it's 1st and goal after the interception. A quick change in the situation here. They'll try to run for it with Fournette. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. A good red zone run there, 9 yards. And it'll be 2nd and goal.
Sometimes with the running game, you've just got to stick with it. Look, it's the 3rd quarter, no time to panic. But that also doesn't mean you just do it the same way you've been doing it the entire ball game. Maybe you change up some blocking assignments or run a few different plays, but stay with the overall essence of the running game.
Now a 2nd down throw for the end zone, but it's incomplete.
They may be snapping the ball near the goal line, but all you're thinking defensively, keep them out of the end zone. Force the incompletion, force them into going for 3, and not giving up 6.
And he's got it. It's Thomas for a Jacksonville touchdown. Julius Thomas with his 2nd touchdown of the game and 5th on the year. And the Jags take advantage of field position on the turnover to cash this one in. A little surprising they wouldn't go for 2, but this is up and good. And the lead's down to a field goal at 17-14. Here's Lambeau out to kick this one away. Fielded about a yard deep. Now a hit and a loose football. And they have the football and will take over at the 24-yard line.
When you kick off and you go downfield and get the ball back, That's what I call a great opportunity.
In a one-score game, I always circle, and you know this, but in my play-by-play sheet, I circle big plays. It could be turning points. This could be a turning point.
Did you put a second circle around this one?
I put a star. I put a star. Trying to get the run game going. This is Fournette. They showed off a nice juke of the defender before the next wave could bring him down. Give him 9 on the carry that time, and they're set up with a 2nd and 1. Now, they struggled to get him rolling on the ground in the first half, and that's sort of continuing here in the third quarter.
Yeah, but I don't think it's time to abandon the running game. I would say keep feeding the horse, and I believe he'll eventually reward them.
And he is going to be taken down. And that should be the final play of this third quarter. It's been a very hotly contested game to this point, just a field goal. The Jaguars on third down. 3 for 7 so far in this game. This is 3rd and 4. A handoff to Fournette. And they go the wrong way here. Knocked back to the 20. He lost 2, and it brings up 4th. So on now is the kicker, Josh Lambo. From the left hash, this from 37. And Lambo will put this one through. And in the fourth quarter, this game is tied. I tell you, the life of a kicker. He has not been called on the entire game. He's over there by the net, but they send him out here in the fourth quarter and say, hey, go tie the game, will you? And guess what? He comes through.
I just don't know how they do it. I really don't. These cats are a different breed from you and me. That's a pressure kick, but that one was never in doubt.
Here's Carson Wentz now with the rest of his offensive unit heading onto the field. And he comes out on the heels of an interception he threw last time they had the ball.
Yeah, and you know, the quarterbacks that I know that are the best ones, the ones that really know how to lead their team, they tell them, that's on me. That's my bad. Let's go back out there and move ahead again, guys. We can get this done.
One good thing for him, it did only lead to 3 points and not a touchdown after that turnover.
Big thanks to the defense. You get a tight end like this, and you know he's used to dishing out punishment, but here, he's one that has to absorb the contact, and as a result, unable to hold on to the football.
And he'll get this one up to the 26. Just a gain of a yard there, and now it'll be 3rd down.
Well, that's a good start to this drive on the defensive side of the ball.
Forcing completion on 1st down, and you're able to shut down the running play on 2nd.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised now. A little bit of pressure going at the quarterback in the expected passing situation.
From the gun on 3rd down, Wentz eluding the pressure right. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up 4th down.
You hear the calls for a penalty, but I just don't think so. I think in this situation, the defender was making sure his guy couldn't hold on to the football. So I don't see anything that warranted a flag.
No, I'm with you. There was contact, but I'm happy they kept that flag in the back pocket. And out now comes Jacksonville as they get ready to go. And last time able to get 3. It's not what they wanted. They wanted 6, but they got at least something. They mustered something out of the drive.
They'll take it. I like the way you've described it. Not ideal, but they'll take it. Anything to put some points on the board. But this time on offense, they don't even want to see the field goal kicker trot on the field. They want that ball in the end zone.
Yeah, they'll be going for 6. He has just been completely taken out of this game. We're in the fourth quarter. He's single digits in the rushing department.
And I know we look at him because the numbers do go to his production. But how about the guys blocking for him? They don't just have his number as a ball carrier. They've got the number of the...
Eagle pressure, too much this time. Down he goes. Brandon Graham in there to record another sack. Their 6th of the afternoon.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit him with a screen soon.
He'll check this one off to Fournette. And he'll lose yardage here. Back at the 11, he goes down. He'll wind up losing a yard on the play, and that's going to bring up a 4th down. With it is Jackson. So a change of possession here on the punt. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. The Eagles offense back out onto the field. And a tight game after punting last time. See if they can get something going on this drive.
As they head to the field now, with the game this close, you've got to feel there's a sense of urgency for them going on offense right now. But they have to do it without letting panic creep in and affect their play.
Now they toss out wide to Sanders, and that play went nowhere. Losing yardage, it'll be back at the 36. It'll be a loss of a yard, and that'll bring up a 2nd and 11.
But we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And hard running's going to get him over the 40 to the 42. 5 yards on the carry there, and it leaves him with 3rd and about 6 yards to go.
But you've got to give kudos to your offensive line and the guy carrying the ball because they were in a 2nd and long situation. It seemed pretty dire, but they brought it back to 3rd and manageable with that run.
One of the bigger plays in the game thus far. The crowd getting into it as we come up on a big 3rd down. Working from the gun, Wentz. Wide open receiver complete. And he's going to get this down to the 35-yard line. A pickup of 24 on the 3rd down conversion.
Slant route's effective no matter who's running the route and catching the ball. But when you have a receiver of that stature, you have to be a little bit more precise throwing it. You don't have the same catch radius with the bigger targets.
Lion.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll be taken down at the 34. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
Nice job by that defensive front there to hold him to a short gain on 1st down. Well played, I must say.
Yeah, only getting 1 yard. There was no room to run.
Hey, 50 the mic. 50.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. Give him 6 yards on the carry. It's going to be 3rd and 3 now. Time for a break. We'll come back and see how it all shakes out after this.
Let's get it. Pick it up. Pop it up.
So it's Eagle football here as we get you reset. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over.
4 down. Hey, ram.
Wentz going to try and throw on 3rd. Ertz has it left side. And now right out of the 2-minute break, we'll get a timeout used defensively with 1:56 to go. So a defensive timeout, chance to regather, regroup, and get set as we resume action. Tie game, 4th quarter, and they're going for this thing on 4th down.
What's that?
Oh, and now movement and a whistle, and they may have to rethink their plans on 4th down.
False start, offense.
The crowd's not doing that O-line any favors.
Home field advantage is really kicking in, making it very difficult for them to hear the snap count.
So here we go. Maybe the biggest kick of the game forthcoming. This for the lead in the final stages. And Elliott puts this one through. And they have taken the lead here in the final 2 minutes. Big kick right there to give them the lead in the 4th, but there is still time left for a final drive.
Did they score too soon? Post-game will tell us, right? Depending on what happens on this drive, that's how we'll analyze it. If the other team scores, they scored too soon. If they somehow hold on, they manage the clock exactly right.
Out comes the Jaguar offense now as they get set to take over. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
1st down yardage on the first play of the drive. Give him 14. They'll look to throw. And he finds a man with a crossing route. 10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be second down. Clock running here, under 90 seconds to go. Back to throw. Over the middle, complete. It's Cole. And he'll be brought down at the 45-yard line. It's a 7-yard gain there, and it's good enough to move the chains. He's back to throw. He'll get this over to Westbrook. It's complete. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. First down, Jacksonville. The passing game looking sharp on this drive for the Jags. He'll look to throw. And he completes it to Westbrook. And he's got this down almost to the 20 before he's dropped. 12 yards on back-to-back plays there, and that's another first down. So it looks like somebody may have forgotten the snap count, and a 5-yard penalty ensues.
False start, offense.
But no reason for that from any wide receiver.
Oftentimes, you don't even hear the snap count, right? You just look inside, make sure the ball moves, then you take off. How he didn't do that is beyond me.
Back to throw. And he's got his man on the out route. Now the Jags will use the second of their timeouts as they get it with 26 seconds to go in the football game. On second down, here's Fournette. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage back at the 22. That'll be a loss of a yard, and it leads to a third down. Foles. To the right side here, the tight end Thomas. And a timeout coming in. This will be their final one with 10 seconds remaining. So the offense takes the timeout, and they are back out and ready to rock. So now one of the biggest kicks of the night is forthcoming. And this one is right through. And they will tie this game here in the final seconds. So a money kick there in the final seconds. And now, barring any hijinks on the kickoff here, partner, I think you and I, we're going to settle in for a little overtime.
And I wouldn't have it any other way. This has been a dogfight all through regulation. No reason to think it won't continue in the extra period.
And the decision to bring it out, a good one, as he's up a yard or two shy of the 30. To throw is Wentz. Jaguar pressure and a Jaguar sack. And here in overtime, if the team that receives the ball scores a touchdown, it's over. If they don't, we can still have some more football.
That's exactly right. If they go down and kick a field goal, the other team gets a possession to either match it or score a touchdown to win the ball game. If both teams kick field goals, the next team to score wins. But if the receiving team throws a pick six or fumbles the ball and it gets picked up by the defense and they score, the game is over at that point.
This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And all that worked, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been had he simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. Philadelphia getting set to take the field. They're set for their first drive here in overtime, and this is where the crowd can really become a factor.
They've had to battle it all day, but I know what you're saying. In overtime, that gets doubled, doesn't it? At least, because now the crowd really wants to be involved and help their team, and that first drive can dictate the whole thing because they know if this team takes it downfield and scores a touchdown, it's game over.
It's been loud in here so far. Little OT scramble drill that time, Mr. Davis.
And, partner, I can tell you from personal experience, nothing drives a defense crazier than having things covered and the quarterback takes off and picks up a first down or big yardage. Because whether you're in zone or man, it's easy to lose track of him because you don't always have someone assigned to him. And once he goes, now everybody's scrambling to try and tackle him. Looks to me, partner, like he's learned a little bit, because earlier in the game, I think they're trying to force a lot of throws into his windows that just weren't open.
Yeah, the interceptions had plagued him, especially the second interception, really a bad throw. So maybe a better decision there.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I think he learned from earlier in the game, and he's applying it now.
And he's over 100 yards now after that last catch. Already, of course, leading the NFL in receiving yardage.
So he's done nothing at all to hurt his cause, to stay in that spot. But I've been so impressed with how he's gotten it done. Body control, route running. How about the way he competes for the football at the end of the play?
A solid run on first down. Gain of 7 leaves him with a 2nd and 3. And I know you, with every carry, especially in overtime, you're just saying, if you're that ball carrier, hold on to the football.
Hold on to it, protect it, but not necessarily settle it.
And he loses the football a second time.
Wow, that ball gets knocked free, but a teammate comes in and review.
Here comes a big one now in overtime. This is 3rd and inches. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he gets the first down yardage before he's brought down just outside the 10 at the 11. They get 6 on the pickup there as the drive will continue.
Brandon, what were they thinking on defense there? They looked like they were playing for the pass. That was 3rd and short. Yeah, it was an easy pickup because they handed it to him. That was way too easy.
Just looked like absolute confusion defensively. Not sure why they were in that set.
Yeah, I'd say you ought to have a few men in the box there.
And they're going to get him down, but not before a pretty good run right there. 9 yards is the pickup there, and they'll have a 2nd and 1.
Some good strong running right there. Some power and some explosiveness just about got him into the end zone.
2 minutes to go here in overtime. We'll be back after this.
Shorty. 2-jet. Black.
Wentz to throw on 2nd down. And it'll be incomplete. What a difference a week makes. Last week he hit on over 80% of his passes. This week he's down under 50%. What do you see as the difference?
Well, I think we're used to seeing a drop. If someone's over 80%, they're not going to hold that number, not in this league. But a drop under 50%, that just tells me that the defense...
And this will be caught. It's a touchdown. An absolute stunned silence here as they have come in and stolen this one in overtime. Partner, a great game that we got to see and making it extra special. Not only did I get 4 quarters with you in this one, I got some overtime, a little whipped cream on top.
Look at you, trying to make this whole thing palatable.
I just want you to pay for my meal later.
You really just wanted 4 quarters what you wanted, but how much fun was that? We had that type of a game.